Good morning, and welcome to Creative Living Fellowship's online Sunday service. Please join us in our opening song, Use Me.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth or the stars or all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. All that I'm saying is, command my hands. What must they do? Command my life. It's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new, and God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. And God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.
Good morning. I welcome you here to our Sunday service at Creative Living Fellowship. I'm the Reverend Dr. Sherry F. McCreary. It is my pleasure and honor to be the senior minister here and to welcome you here this morning to our service. We are an independent religious science church, and we welcome all paths that lead to truth. Our deepest intention here is to be a community of love, of care, of connection that opens hearts that expands consciousness and that transforms lives. And we do that through the principles and the practices of the science of mind. So let's take a breath together. I didn't get to say that. Let's take a breath together. I'd like to thank favorite friend Cheryl McCreary, who served as our guest speaker last week. She's also a favorite daughter, but she served as our guest speaker. Thank you very much, Cheryl. And thanks to Jeannie Sarvins, who served as our host last week when I had a Sunday off. I'd like to give a shout out to our Sunday service team, and they are Nicole Jordan and Deb Covington. They're our AV team, and of course, our tech team, as usual, would be Reverend Mary Jane Hyde and practitioner Fran Peck. We have two practitioners who are holding high watch for us today. They are Monica Zickers and Jeannie Sarvins. And what that means is that they are sitting in meditation and prayerful contemplation, just holding a space for the perfect unfolding of our time together here today. So I thank Jeannie and I thank Monica for their service here today, and everyone else. Our musical inspiration today is favorite friend Lynn Floyd. He'll be with us just a little later. Right now, Nicole's going to bring us the announcements. And after the announcements, there'll be a brief gong wash. And following the gong wash, there'll be a few moments of silence. And then practitioner Peter Waring will bring us the reading and the opening prayer. I invite you to take a breath as you listen to the reading and just create a space in your hearts and minds just to resonate with the reading for today. But right now, here's Nicole.
Good morning, Creative Living Fellowship. It is my pleasure to be here with you this Sunday to bring you today's announcements. So if you don't already know this, effective immediately, we have a new mailing address. It's 8050 North 19th Avenue, number 466, Phoenix, 85021. And if you haven't written it down yet, that's fine. You can also find it on our website, on our Facebook page, and in your weekly newsletter. Just in case you missed this fascinating statistic that I shared last week, I'm going to share it again. Did you know that according to a Harvard study, people spend 47% of their time thinking about the past or the future? That is a lot of time not spent in the present. Meditation is a great mindfulness practice that helps us to be in the now. Why not join us for midday meditation on Facebook or in Zoom to start or support your meditation practice? Midday meditation is at noon, Monday through Thursday on our Facebook page. And our practitioners hold a pre-service meditation at 9:30 a.m. in Zoom on Sundays. Stay connected and supported with your CLF family and join Reverend Sherry every Tuesday as she hosts a Community Care Connection Zoom meeting at 6:30 p.m. This week, Reverend Sherry will be leading us in Life's Purpose Visioning. This is a powerful process that reveals more the more you do it. Visioning is a spiritual practice that aligns you to possibilities for your life. Join us this Tuesday and open up, surrender, and catch God's vision for your life. We look forward to seeing you then. This Friday, May 7th at 5 p.m. is Quantum Chair Yoga and Meditation with Reverend Christopher Guru Karam Gallagher. Every first Friday of the month, join Reverend Christopher for powerful Kundalini yoga practices and meditation. We are excited to offer the magic of Sanskrit mantras, the essence of prayer without ceasing class, starting on Wednesday, May 12th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. via Zoom. The 6-week series will be lovingly facilitated by Lena St. Michael. Lena is an interfaith minister, agape licensed spiritual practitioner of 25 years, and yoga teacher who has been chanting Sanskrit mantras for 20 years. Lena is a member of the Agape Global Choir and has been mentored by internationally revered yoga masters, including Amma, the famous hugging saint from India, and Baba Hari Das. Let's find out more about this class from Lena.
Blessings, dear ones. What a joy. I'm so enthused to share with you the magic of Sanskrit mantras and the power of high volume repetition of sacred sound formulas for more focus, energy, health, and peaceful vibes wherever you are, anytime, anywhere, and in any situation. You'll discover how mantra japa with Sanskrit is pure application of universal principles, subtle body theory, and definitely I'll show you how it works with modern science too. I'll teach you at least 5 essential classical mantras. Don't worry, some are just one line long, and I will show you how to use a mala for counting. I'll give you lots of audiovisual resources too that'll help your practice and also your enjoyment. So join me, the magic of Sanskrit mantras. Namaste.
Register today for this 6-week class. Registration links can be found in the comments, under Facebook events, or on our website under classes. There are currently 3 vacancies on the CLF Board of Trustees. To support the continued growth of CLF during this transformative time, the Board of Trustees needs individuals with very specific skill sets who are committed, dependable, ready, energized, and willing to step into leadership. Is this you? If you're interested in serving CLF by joining the Board of Trustees, please complete the online application by May 19th. You can find a link for that in the comments, or on our website, there is a tab that is the BOT application. Remember, you can use text to give to make your contributions to CLF. Simply text the amount you'd like to give to 602-610-1868. If it's your first time donating by text, you will be sent a link to set up your account. But then after that, it's as easy as tithing the amount you would like to give to 602-610-1868. And CLF is a tithing church, which means that we tithe off of your donations. And our 2021 second quarter tithes will be going to Teen Lifeline, a connection of hope for Arizona teens. So speaking of tithing our quarterly tithes, we're always looking for more nonprofits to send our quarterly tithes to. So if you have a nonprofit you would like to nominate, please use the link found in the comments to submit your recommendation. Our Sunday prayer room is available to you after service today. Get your after service prayer with a practitioner by heading on over to the Zoom link provided in the comments. And for those of you in Zoom with us now, we have made a change. So you will need to use the new Zoom link too. Our prayer room will be a different Zoom room than our Sunday service. And that gives Reverend Sherry time to visit with everybody after service. Prayer room participants will be transferred into a breakout room for a private and confidential session with one of our licensed practitioners. And after our service, we have Sunday fellowship too. Join practitioner Jeannie Sovereigns in Facebook Messenger chat from 11:15 to 11:45 and hang out, discuss the service, what's on your mind or heart, or just connect with your CLF family. You can find the details for all of our events with our links on our website under events, under our Facebook events, posted in the comments, or in your weekly newsletter. That's it for today's announcements. It is now time to move on to our gong wash, followed by a moment of silence.
Good morning, Creative Living Fellowship. Today's reading is from 365 Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. As the heart panteth after the water brooks, so panteth my soul after thee, O God. Psalm 42. Ernest Holmes says, I realize that one of the reasons I may not have reached a more definite answer to my prayer, more swift and specific manifestations from my spiritual treatment, is because I did not persist in my expectancy. I hoped for, rather than I had faith, I would have received the good I desired. Now I realize there must be a certain acceptance and expectancy that is built upon or sustained by faith. Because of faith, I must accept the fact that my good is and persist in expecting its manifestation. My faith sustains my acceptancy at all times. Faith is an entirely individual and personal attitude. It flourishes within me. I realize that I may have as much faith as I will, regardless of anything and everything else. The only limit to what I may have is the faith I do have. As is my faith, so is my acceptance. And is my acceptance, so is my expectancy. And finally, as is my expectancy, so is my demonstration or experience. Through the broad avenues of expectancy created within me by my faith, all good comes to me. So let's take these words into prayer. And let's first recognize that the power we are using, the power that we tap into, the power of the universe, the creative force that created everything that we know and understand in the physical, is a powerful, powerful force, a force for good. And that I am, and we all are, part of this force. We are the extension of this force in human experience. And because of that, my word, our word, also has power. So I speak my word now, activating this power, this force within us. I speak my word that hopefulness is transmuted to faith. I know my prayers are answered. I transmute my desire into expectancy. It is here. It is on its way. It is mine to have. And I use this power now in my words for this service. This service is divinely inspired. I know that, for God works through us and as us, as it works through Reverend Sherry and our musical inspiration, and for those who are serving today. I know this immense power is working through our leaders and spiritual leaders and speakers of truth. I know this immense power is available for the healing of this planet, for healing of consciousness, for the expansion of love, and for the expansion of peace. So I call upon that now, and I am in full expectancy of the truth of this prayer to be demonstrated. And for that, I am so, so grateful. And I release these words now because I am no longer hopeful, but I know it is done. And so it is. And now let's welcome our musical inspiration, Lynn Floyd.
Good morning, Creative Living Fellowship. Lynn Floyd here. I'm honored to be back with you this morning. I'm looking forward to the time when I can come back and be with you in person. I think we're getting closer every day to that one. So this song will just kind of keep us visioning in that direction. I wouldn't be surprised if peace broke out all over. I wouldn't be surprised if I found a four-leaf clover, 'cause miracles abound. They happen all around me every day. I wouldn't be surprised if we put an end to hunger. I wouldn't be surprised if we just kept getting younger, 'cause miracles abound. They happen all around me every day. And life keeps blessing me with so much good. I wouldn't change it even if I could. Blessing me in every way. And if it all turns out okay, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised if I found out every answer. I won't be surprised when we find a cure for cancer, 'cause miracles abound. They happen all around me every day. And life keeps blessing me with so much good. I wouldn't change it even if I could. Blessing me in every way. And if it all turns out okay, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And life keeps blessing me with so much good. I wouldn't change it even if I could. Blessing me in every way. And if it all turns out okay, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And life keeps blessing me with so much good. I wouldn't change it even if I could. Blessing me in every way. And if it all turns out okay, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Love you.
Oh, I love that song. That is so beautiful. I wouldn't be surprised at all. That takes us right into our theme for the month of May. Can you believe it's May already? We're halfway through this year, almost. Let's just take a breath together. Thank you, Lynn, Floyd. That is just a wonderful, wonderful song. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Our theme for the month of May is the power in relentless expectancy. The power in relentless expectancy. The power, there's power in relentless expectancy. And expectancy is just one of my favorite things to talk about because it's always just so exciting because that's what expectancy is. It's anticipation, it's excitement, it's exhilaration, it's enthusiasm. That's what expectancy is. And the reading came under the topic of joy because that's Ernest Holmes defines joy as the emotion excited by the expectancy of good, the emotion excited by the expectancy of good. And so this month, we're just talking about expectancy, the expectancy of good. And we're moving into that arena where we are not going to be surprised by anything, by all the good, all the blessings that are being rained upon us. And so that's the energy that I want us to move into. I want us to be in that place of expectancy throughout the month, throughout our lives, really, but particularly we're focusing on it this month. I'd like to just distinguish expectancy from expectations. Expectations are those things that we are aware of, those things that we already have in mind, and they are fine to have expectations, but they can also lead to disappointment. They can also lead to sadness because we have a particular thing in mind, a particular way that we want somebody to act. That's usually the way expectations show up. They usually show up as we wanted someone to act a certain way or to be a certain way, and when they are not, they fail to live up to our expectations, and we get into disappointment, we get into depression, we get into sadness because something did not live up to our expectations. That's limited. Expectations are limiting. Expectancy is broad. There's no limit. There's no limit to expectations. Expectancy. There's no limit. Because expectancy is being open to allowing spirit to reveal itself fully and completely in our lives as our lives. And so we want to walk through life in that energy of expectancy, always knowing that there's more. There's always more. There's always more. There's always more. That's the thing that I like to really stress about expectancy. There's always more. I call expectancy something like a big Easter egg hunt. Around every corner, behind every branch, whatever. There's a surprise for us. There's something for us to be excited about. There's good awaiting us wherever we turn, wherever we go. I also call expectancy the big and. And I did a talk a long time ago when I first came here about the big and, because there's thank you, God, and there's always more. There's always more to express. There's always more to experience. There's always more to come into our experience. And so that's where we want to be, in a place of excitement, a place of openness, a place of freedom, a place of possibilities, because that's what expectancy is all about, being in a place of possibilities. When I was a kid, my father, God love him, who always wanted us to have everything and to be happy and never be disappointed or never be let down by anything. And I was the one who would get really excited about things that I wanted to do or things that what I thought I wanted to be or whatever. And he would always say, don't get so excited. Don't get so excited about it. He said, because what you have to do is you hope for the best, look for the worst, and take whatever God sends. Hope for the best, look for the worst, and take whatever God sends. Now that made not a lot of sense to me. So I would always question that. Why do I have to look for the worst? He said that way, if you're looking for the worst, then you won't be disappointed. And when you take whatever God sends, then you'll be really excited when you get something more than you expected. That was very confusing to me. Hope for the best, look for the worst, and take whatever God sends. So I've had a chance over the years to really think about that, and now I just chuckle about it because I know that he was so well-intentioned. He always wanted the best, and his big thing was, I don't want you to be disappointed. So whatever God sends then will be a surprise to you. But you know what? That's expectancy. He was talking about expectancy. He didn't know it, but he was saying, hope for the best, look for the worst, but take whatever God sends. Well, when you're taking whatever God sends, you're being open, knowing that God may send even more. So that's expectancy. However, I didn't recognize that at the time. I just didn't understand hoping for why not just stop at hoping for the best? And you know what? I really get it when it comes to hope and expectancy and how different they are. Ernest Holmes says that hope is sort of a questioning, a wondering whether there's a possibility that good will come into our experience. And he said, hope is good, but hope it's better than despair. But hope is a subtle illusion. It's a subtle illusion. It's a conscious compromise. And so he said that what we need more than hope, we need expectancy, because expectancy speeds progress. Expectancy speeds progress. And he says that if we are in a continual state of expectancy, that's how we have to live our lives, in a continual state of expectancy. And it doesn't matter how much good you are experiencing today, always expect more tomorrow. Holmes says that no matter how much good you are experiencing today, always expect more tomorrow, because there's always more. There's always more for us to have. There's always more for us to be. There's always more for us to experience. There's always more. And so what we don't want to get hung up on is the way things have been in the past. We don't want to get hung up on precedent. We don't want to get hung up on precedent, because principle doesn't know precedent. So what we want to do is to be in a place of openness, in a place of freedom, in a place of expectancy, an expectancy of good. And so my topic today, I told you about my father, because my topic today is beyond hope. It's beyond hope. We move beyond hope. Expectancy is beyond hope. Hope is sort of like wishing that things will happen. I don't think you would want to go to a practitioner and have them pray for you, and then when they're done, they say, "I really hope that works," or "I really hope you get what we were praying for." No. Hope is good. It moves us out of despair, and it's a compromise. It's a compromise. Expectancy is moving into that place of knowing, that God is always right where we are, and the goodness of God is always right where we are, and God is always giving of itself. It has given everything of itself, and it's always available to us. And so when we are in that place of knowing, then we can walk through our lives, and we can walk through each day, we can walk through each moment in a continual state of expectancy. A continual state of expectancy. That's where we want to be, in a continual state of expectancy. And how do we do that? We constantly, the spiel, change your thinking, change your life. Change your thinking, change your life. Don't let any thoughts, Ernest Holmes says, don't let any thoughts gain entrance into your consciousness that you don't want to manifest. Don't let any thoughts gain entrance that you don't want to, or do not give interest to any thoughts that you don't want to be made manifest or to experience in your life. So what we want to do is making sure that we are thinking about what we want. We're walking through life expecting to experience the all good, expecting our desires to be made manifest, expecting God to answer our prayers, if that's the way we want to put it. Whatever it is we are envisioning, whatever it is we are desiring, whatever is our heart's desire, expect it to come into manifestation. Expect it to be. Expect it to be. That speeds the progress. And what it also does is shows our faith. It shows our faith and our belief, because it is done unto us as we believe. And that's what we're dealing with all year, is daring to believe, dare to believe that we can have the things that we desire, the desires of our heart, and that we can open our hearts and expect those things to be made manifest in our experience. And so we want to walk through our lives. We want to walk through our days just saying, I expect this to be good. I expect good to happen. I expect miracles to show up. But you know what? When we constantly move into that place of expectancy, we recognize that God's good being made manifest in our lives is really not a miracle. It's really just God being God in our lives, and we being open to it. And it becomes the norm. The more we can open up, the more we can be aware, the more we can be practicing the presence of God, the more God's blessings in our lives, God's goodness appearing in our lives becomes the norm, and we can stop calling it a miracle. We can stop calling things miracles that happen. It's like, oh yes, I experienced this. Oh yes, my heart's desire has been made manifest. And so I just invite you now to take a breath and let's just look at how we can really move into living in expectancy, constantly walking through our lives in expectancy. And we can do that when we, first of all, let go of expectations. We let go of expectations, and that moves us out of the realm of expectancy. We let go of expecting other people to do certain things, or things to turn out a certain way, or a specific thing to happen. We just let go of expectations. We let go of expectations, and as we let go of expectations, we also let go of the the fears and the opinions of other people. Letting go of the fears and the opinions of other people. Because you know what, when we are in a place of expectancy, when we are in a place of openness, when we're in a place of anticipation, when we're in a place of excitement, somebody else can really pour water on it. Somebody else can really make us feel really, really bad. Somebody else can really make us think that we are a little crazy for thinking that far out of the box. You aren't dealing with reality, people will tell us. That's too far out of the box. And so what we want to do is not get caught up in other people's opinions, not get caught up in other people's fears. We're living in a world today where there's a lot of fear out there. There's a lot of opinions out there. And we don't want to get caught up in those, because they can affect our ability to be in that place of anticipation, in that place of excitement, in that place of exhilaration, in that place of expectancy. Because when we're hearing constant negativity, a constant fear, a constant drag on our consciousness, if you will, when we're hearing that, then we get caught up in, well, maybe I shouldn't think that big. Well, maybe I should, maybe that is unrealistic. Maybe I should tone it down a little bit. Maybe it can't happen now because it's never happened before, or because I've tried this so many times before and it didn't work, or because I've been waiting for this for so long and it didn't work. So maybe I should just pull back on what my expectancy is. No, that's not what you want to do. What we want to do is to still be in that place of, I expect good to be made manifest in my life. I expect my prayers to be answered. I expect to have my divine right job. I expect to have my divine right residence. I expect whatever it is that you are expecting, whatever it is your heart's desire, expect that. And don't allow, as I said, the opinions or the thoughts of other people, other situations or things that have happened in the past, or the amount of time that's passed. And let none of that make a difference to you. Let none of that make a difference to you. Let none of that put a damper on your sense of expectancy. So you want to walk through life in that place of an expectancy of good. Every step that you take, expecting good around each corner. Just every step you take, just expecting the goodness of God to be made manifest. That's how we stay in that place of expectancy. Just letting go, as I said, of what other people think, what other people say, what you're hearing on the news, because that can be some of the biggest downers. I keep my television going sometimes during the day when I'm working. I have the TV in the living room because I hear the voices because of this good company. And I realized a lot this week that this particular station that I had it on, every hour a different host came on. There was a news station. Every hour a different host came on, and every hour they told the same news. They told the same news stories. And as the day wore on, I began to realize that I wasn't feeling nearly as upbeat as I had been, even though I wasn't really consciously listening. I wasn't feeling as upbeat. And I thought, you know what? It's because I've heard that same story over and over and over again. And I've heard the reason why certain things aren't working, the reason why certain things can't work, the reason how things used to be and how they're going to always be and how they're never going to change. I had to get up and put meditation music on just to clear the energy in my room. In my house, I had to get up and just shift everything, because I had allowed that energy from the outside. I had allowed that energy to affect me, to impact me and how I was feeling. And it was so subtle that I was almost unaware of it until I began to realize I was starting to feel a little tired. I was feeling a little down. I couldn't figure out why. My energy was getting low. And it was like, you know what? It's because of what's been going on a loop in there. And the news was on a loop. Now, I will listen to it sometimes, but I don't need to listen to it every hour. the same news being told to me by a different person, because as I've always said, it's not news after the first time you hear it. So what I recognized was that I was allowing that to interfere with my consciousness and my conscious awareness. So I had to let that go. And so that's what we want to do, let go of the opinions and the impact that others have on us. And the other thing we want to do is also create, wake up every day with excitement and enthusiasm. Wake up every day with excitement and enthusiasm. And what I was about to say about create an affirmation for yourself. When you wake up in the mornings, that really puts you into a place of expectancy. It puts you into a place of expectancy. It puts you into a consciousness of expectancy, of excitement, of enthusiasm. I wonder what today is going to bring. Or waking up with the affirmation, I expect to, as I said earlier, to have my new job today. I expect my divine right partner, my divine right mate to show up in my life today. I expect him or her to walk through that door, to meet him on the sidewalk, or whatever the case may be. But this is what I expect. You know, I used to do a Wednesday evening service, and we closed it out each week with the affirmation, if you will. Something wonderful is happening in my life right now. I know it, I sense it, I feel it, and I thank God for it. Something wonderful is happening in my life right now. I know it, I sense it, I feel it, and I thank God for it. And you know, I'm adding to that today. I'm saying something wonderful is happening in my life right now. I know it, I sense it, I feel it, I expect it. I expect it, and I thank God for it. I invite you to use that affirmation or create your own. Something wonderful is happening in my life right now. Something wonderful is happening in my life right now. And if you have your mind on what it is you are desiring, if it is a job, if it is a lover, if it is a new home, if it is a new car, whatever it is, have that in mind, and then just affirm something wonderful is happening in my life right now. I know it, I sense it, I feel it, I expect it, and I thank God for it. And that's what we do. And that keeps us in that place of expectancy. If you can do that before you even get out of bed, or before you really get started with your day, it puts you in that place of expectancy, of expecting the goodness of God. And then the last thing I want you to tell you to do is to act as if it's already here. Act as if it's already here. Act as if you know it's coming. Act as if you believe it. Act as if you believe it, because that's showing your faith when you're acting as though you believe it. When you're acting as though you believe it. I'm reminded of when I was a kid, my mother fell and broke her ankle in 3 places. And she had to have a steel pin put in her ankle. And the doctor told her she'd never walk again. She would probably be in a wheelchair most of the rest of her life. And she just was not even thinking about that. She said to him, no, I'm not. And so she started to, but the mantra in my family has always been, God has the last word. And so she said, now God has the last word. And so she started to get up out of that wheelchair and try to walk. And it was so painful. And sometimes we would hear her struggling and groaning to get out of that chair and to walk. And then she got to the place where she could walk with a limp and a cane. And when she went back to the doctor, he told her that he was really surprised that she could do as much as she was doing. And he told her that she would always walk with a limp. And she said, no, that's not going to happen. God has the last word on this. And so at night, we would hear her walking back and forth in the house, and she would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And she counted because each time she counted a number, she took a step. And she started out slowly, and then she started to speed it up. And it took time, but she did it religiously. She would walk 1, 2, 3, 4. She was acting as if she could walk She was expecting to be able to walk. Every time she said that God has the last word on this, that was her expectancy, that she was going to walk again without a limp. And she never limped. She never walked with a limp. After that ankle healed, she walked, and she walked the rest of her life until she was well into her late 80s. And she continued to walk without a limp because she believed. She believed that she could do it. She believed that the goodness of God was available to her. She believed that her desire was going to be made manifest. And she acted like she believed it. She acted like it was. She acted like she could walk, and she did without a limp. And so that's what I'm saying to each of us. Act as if. Live in that place of expectancy. Know that something wonderful is going to happen, or something wonderful is happening in your life right now. Know it, sense it, feel it, expect it, and then experience it. This is how we experience the things that we have an expectancy of. This is how we experience joy in our lives. And so I invite you right now to take a breath with me. And as we take this breath, let's just move into prayer. Move into that place of oneness with the divine. Move into that place where the all that is resides deep within each of us. Move into that place of knowing, as we take a breath, that God is all there is. That God is all there is, and that the goodness of God is always available to us. The goodness of God is always showing up in our lives. And so we move into that place of expectancy of good right here and right now. Expectancy of good right here and right now, just recognizing that one power, recognizing that one presence, recognizing that one life, recognizing that one that is the all in all, that one divine intelligence that knows all, that one being that is all, that one breath that breathes all, that one heartbeat that is the heartbeat of us all. We move into that place of the one right here and right now, knowing that that one is my very life, knowing that that one is the life of each of us here this day. And that one is always giving of itself, always giving of itself in and through and as our very lives. And so knowing this truth, I can speak the word for each of us this day, speaking a word of healing, speaking a word of wholeness, just knowing that our heart's desire is being made manifest right here and right now by the word that's being spoken. If that heart's desire is healing in the body temple, then healing in the body temple is happening right here and right now. Knowing that every organ, cell, tissue, function of the body is responding to that radiant healing presence of God. Healing any sense of lack or limitation of any kind. But there can be no lack, but God is abundance itself. God is supply itself. And so the supply that is needed, whatever it is that is needed, in any life, in any situation, in any circumstance, God shows up as that thing. And we just open our hearts to be available, to receive, to say yes to it, to say yes to anything that appears as needs being met, all needs being met, all needs being met in our physical bodies, in our bodies of affairs, in our relationships, all needs being met. Relationships that are filled with love and with peace and with harmony and with balance and with joy. I know that as we move forward in our lives, that our government officials are guided and directed from on high, that right decisions are being made, right choices are being made, that unity is happening in the midst of apparent conflict. Unity is because God is in the midst of everything that is going on. And so I know that we are each guided, we are each directed, we each cared for, we each lifted up. We are each loved. We move into this place of unity in our communities, in our homes, in our families, wherever we are, just knowing that God is in the midst of everything. God is in the midst of the broken heart that has lost loved ones, just knowing that as those who have lost loved ones, release their loved ones that are greater yet to be, those who have shaken off the mortal coil, are now just flying free with the divine in oneness, in love, in light. And those who are left to grieve God is right in the midst. God is the comforter, the great comforter, the great love, the great peace. I know indeed that all is well. And so I pause momentarily so that if you'd like to speak the names of anyone you'd like held in prayer, you may speak them silently or loud, and you may speak them now. And so for all those whose names were spoken here this day, I know that God is right where each one is, blessing and keeping them. God is in the midst of every situation. God is in the midst of every circumstance. God is. This word goes out to anyone on this planet needing a prayer this day. Anyone needing a prayer this day, God is. That's all we ever need to know, is that God is. And I know that all indeed is well. Thank you, Father, Mother God. I simply allow it to be now. And so it is. Amen. And so let us take a breath now as we move into our offering time. This is a time that we give of our tithes and offerings. And as you know, Creative Living Fellowship is a tithing church. We invite you to enter into this sacred practice with us by tithing right here at Creative Living Fellowship. You can do that by donating, by clicking on the donate button on our website or on in the comment section. You can also text to tithe. And however you give, we certainly appreciate your continued financial support of Creative Living Fellowship. So let us now just say our offering blessing together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God. And so it is. So now here's Lynn, Floyd again.
I am stable and secure. I surround myself with joy. Take care of my well-being. Cosmic vibes have got me singing. I'm stable and secure. I am stable and secure. I surround myself with joy. Take care of my well-being. Cosmic vibes have got me singing. I'm stable and secure. From the soles of my feet to the top of my head, yeah. When the flow is complete, I will go where I'm led. Lead me where I'm led. Lead me where I'm led. Karen says I'm too blessed to be stressed. Eddie says I am the place where God shows up. Jamie says love is my religion, helps me make my own decision to be stable and secure. From the soles of my feet to the top of my head, yeah. When the flow is complete, I will go where I'm led. Where I'm led. Karen says I'm too blessed to be stressed. Eddie says I am the place where God shows up. Jamie says love is my religion, helps me make my own decision to be stable and secure. From the soles of my feet to the top of my head, yeah. When the flow is complete, Lead me where I'm led. Lead me where I'm led. Love you all. See you soon.
Thank you, Gary Lynn Floyd. What a wonderful day to have music by Gary Lynn Floyd today. It's just great. Thank you so very much. We hope you'll be back very soon. Let's take a breath. I have a couple of closing announcements, and I'd just like to remind you of the fellowship hour that happens with practitioner Jeannie Sarvins immediately after the service today. So drop in and have fellowship and coffee and talk and chat and connect with each other immediately after the service. And we also will have the practitioners who will be in the Zoom prayer room, who will be available to pray with you immediately after service. The Zoom prayer room has another link now. It's in the comments or on our Facebook page. You can just go right to the Zoom prayer link, Zoom room prayer link. And if you are in the Zoom room right now, you can't stay there for prayer. You can go to the link and you can stay there and talk to me if you like after the service is over. Or you can reach out to our practitioners by calling our on-call practitioners. Their names and numbers and contact information are all in the comments and on our website. Or you can send an email to prayer@creativelivingfellowship.com. But however you do, the point is, avail yourself of the services of our practitioners who are anxious to pray with you, who really would love to pray with you. So take advantage of that service that they're offering for us. Also on Tuesday evening, we have our Tuesday evening connection call. I will be available for that as I am every Tuesday evening. This week, we're going to be visioning for Life's Purpose Visioning. And we meet at 6:30 from 6:30 to 7:45. So I'd love to see you there. We have great visioning time there. And other weeks we have conscious conversation, but this week we're having visioning. Let's take a breath as we just move now into me reminding you to use the treatment for supply. Our prayer, our community prayer, it works. You have to work it. And I invite you to work it by using it on a daily basis and allowing it to just really show out, allowing God to show up and show out in your life. And now we're going to move into our final song after I tell you to connect with each other and remind you that we want to make sure that we continue to connect with each other. You know, we are in a place of expectancy now of moving into getting together again. That's the expectancy that we are all experiencing right now. It's like things are really opening up. So before you know it, we'll be back together, and we want to still be in touch with each other as we go through this period of transition. So call each other, text each other, send cards, say I love you, I miss you, however you want to connect with each other. The important thing is that you do, because we are still one CLF family, one CLF community, and we are still connected. Let's take a breath as we move into our closing song. I release. I love you. I miss you. I can't wait to see you guys. Closing song.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm all